So imagine you've got a very large number, 178,239,982,623, and you want to know if it's divisible by the number 2, or 3, or 4, divisible by 5, or 6, or 7, or 8, or 9, or 10. There are some really fast ways that you can find out whether it's divisible by those things, and we call those divisibility tests. So let's talk about the divisibility test. So first one's easy. A number is divisible by 2 if it's even. So if I look at this number here, I can say that it is not divisible by 2, and I do that by looking at the last digit. And if the last digit is odd, it's not divisible by 2. But if the last digit was even, like this, then it would be divisible by 2. So it's all about the last digit being even. Now, divisible by 3. This one is a magical one. I love it. This number here, 12,357,249, I don't know if it's divisible by 3, and I can't just look at the last digit to figure it out either. But I can figure it out very fast by adding all of these digits together. Now, when I do that, I get an answer of 33. And I can go one step further here and then say 3 plus 3 equals 6. 6 is divisible by 3, therefore 33 is divisible by 3, therefore 12,357,249 is also divisible by 3. So we say that if the digit sum is a multiple of 3, then the number itself will be divisible by 3. Now for number 4, it's kind of like the divisibility test for 2, but instead of looking at the last number, we're going to look at the last 2 numbers. Give ourselves a big, nice, long number here. Look at the last 2 digits. If the last 2 digits are divisible by 4, then the whole number is divisible by 4. It's pretty easy to see why that is, because I can express this in a slightly different way. I can break it up into this plus 84. Now that's obviously going to give me that. I know that this is divisible by 4 because it's divisible by 100. And if it's divisible by 100 and 100 is divisible by 4, then the whole thing's divisible by 4. So then I only have to consider this bit and figure out whether this is divisible by 4. And 84, it is divisible by 4. 4 times 21 would give me 84. So the whole thing is divisible by 4. So check the last 2 digits. Now 5 is very straightforward. You just need to look at the last digit, because you should know by now that any number multiplied by 5 will give you an answer of either something, something, something 0 or something, something, something 5. So this is divisible by 5 because it ends in 0. This is divisible by 5 because it ends in 5. But this isn't because it ends in 4. Now the divisibility test for 6, I really love this. I think it's really cool, because if something is divisible by 6, it means it must be divisible by 2 and by 3. So if you do both of those tests and they both work, then it must also be divisible by 6. So I have a big long number here, 12,607,980. First of all, is it divisible by 2? Well, it's even. It ends in a 0. So yes, it's divisible by 2. Check. Now, is it divisible by 3? Well, I should add up the digits. When I do that, I get 33. Now, 33 is divisible by 3. I can check that. 3 plus 3 equals 6. I shouldn't put those equal signs like that. That's probably wrong. Alright, so that means it's divisible by 2. It's divisible by 3. Therefore, we use these 3 little dots for therefore. Therefore, it's divisible by 6. Now, we're going to skip over 7. I'll show you why in a second. We're going to jump straight into 8. 8, pretty neat here. When we wanted to find out if something was divisible by 2, we just looked at the last digit. When we wanted to know if something was divisible by 4, we looked at the last 2 digits. And if we want to know if something is divisible by 8, we look at the last 3 digits. So here's a good number that we can test. If we want to know if this is divisible by 8, we just need to look at this and decide if that is divisible by 8. Now 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 24 3 times. Yes, 824 is divisible by 8, therefore the whole thing is divisible by 8. Look at the last 3 digits. Now you can think about why that is. It's the same reason that we look at the last 2 digits when it's divisible by 4. So when it comes to 9, we can do something similar to what we did with 3. There, the digit sum needed to be divisible by 3. here the digit sum needs to be divisible by 9. Now when I add those digits together, I get an answer of 32. 32 is not divisible by 9. I can check that if I want to by doing 3 plus 2 equals 5. That is not the number 9, that's the number 5. Alright, so how can I change this number to make it divisible by 9? Well, the digit sum was 32. 32 isn't divisible by 9, but 36 would be. So, if I made the number much bigger, and now it's not this number here, but it's this number, 4,957,623. The digit sum wouldn't be 32, the digit sum would be 36, and 3 plus 6 is not 5, it's 9. Therefore, that number is divisible by 9. So that was 9. 10 is a really boring one, ends in a 0. Just look at the last digit, ends in a 0, it's divisible by 10. And that brings us back to the one I skipped over, 7. Now when it comes to divisibility by 7, there are tests out there, and feel free to Google them. But none of them are really great and really fast and time-saving like these other ones. I think when it comes to figuring out whether it's divisible by 7, you should just do it. And so here I've taken the number 785,923, divided it by 7, I get this number, remainder 5. So it's not divisible by 7. Now again, there are other tests out there, and you should Google them and you should check them out because there's an interesting one where you like take the last number off and double it and add it back on, and go and check it out. But for now, really, my best advice is test it out. This is the only one where you have to really do some division. Like Nike said, just do it. Alright, there's our divisibility tests from 2 to 10. Now you can test out any number for its divisibility.